So when it comes to leasing your IT equipment, there's really two main types of leases that you'll encounter out there. There's the fair market value lease, and there's the dollar buyout, which is really essentially just financing of the equipment over that whatever time period that you've selected for the lease. To distinguish between these, the fair market value lease is a lot like you would think of when you think of a car lease, where you're going to make payments for a specified period of time, and then at the end of that, you're going to return that equipment to the leasee, or the leaseor, sorry. In a fair market value situation, you may not necessarily pay the full cost of the IT equipment, but you're probably going to pay 90 to 95% of it. So there's not a lot of residual value on IT equipment at the end of a 3-year period. It's pretty much fully depreciated, but this can still be an effective way to manage cash flow. The second type of lease would be the $1 buyout, which, as I said, is typically financing. With this type of a lease, you're probably going to pay about 10% more in today's dollars for the equipment. So if you were going to lease $100,000 worth of equipment, you're probably going to pay out $110,000 at current rates. Now, this can be affected sometimes by the manufacturer's programs. Cisco Capital, Dell Financial Services, Lenovo's leasing brand, all of these major manufacturers have a finance arm associated with them. And sometimes they'll give you a lower rate on the leasing if you're buying their equipment. Or if the equipment is already dirt cheap and they're not making any money on that, you can expect to pay typical market rates on your leasing with them. So take that into consideration as you're negotiating the price of your equipment and the price that you're going to pay on the leasing. A lot of times it's a good idea to work with the manufacturer's financing arm to get the best deal. The last thing I'll say about the leasing in general is that the whole purpose of leasing is to manage your cash flow, of course. If you're trying to purchase laptops for a sales force so that sales force can go out and generate income for you, this is a good way to reduce your upfront cost and spread that out while you generate revenue. Now, it's always going to be less expensive overall if you put up your cash up front to buy the equipment. It's never cheaper to lease than it is to use your own cash, but it's not always practical depending upon your business model. So those are a couple of considerations for IT leasing.